before you unravel anything, you're going to want to take off any embellishments, so any buttons, any tags. I've actually already taken off the tag and then like the button that was here. Any like embroidery or anything like that, you're going to want to take off first before you unravel. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and flip your knit garment inside out. And as you can see here, there are like seams on the shoulders, there are seams around the arm, a seam down the sleeve, a seam down the side, as well as a seam where the collar is at the front. And basically, in order to unravel your sweater, you're going to be unpicking these seams. I've already like done one sleeve, but anyways, you're going to be unpicking these seams that you see all around the sweater. And then once you're done unpicking the seams, you'll like basically gonna be able to like begin unraveling the sweater. So that's like the satisfying part that happens afterwards. But yeah, so I'm just going to show you real quick what this what the seams on this particular sweater look like. Obviously it's gonna be different for every single knit garment, but these are like machine knitted and then like machine sewn together. You can see the stitches like pretty well, and they're pretty uniform as well. You can also see these same stitches running down the actual garment. So in order to start unpicking these seams, I'm just going to take my seam ripper. And the easiest way for me to start is, instead of like go ahead and like putting the red ball underneath, since I don't really want to like rip any fibers accidentally, what I like to do is I like to unpick a few of these stitches. So I'm just gonna go perpendicularly like this, and I'm just gonna unpick a couple of them. And if you're confident enough to go ahead and run the red ball underneath, go ahead and do that. I just like doing this first. And then once you've done that, you can see there's like a little hole down here because you just unpicked some seams. And then what you can do is you can start running your red ball underneath. Basically go like this. But like I said, if you want to be safe and if you're not very well practiced with this, I highly recommend just like looking at the side like here, and then just ripping out these stitches like every few ones individually, so you don't like rip any fibers, because that would really suck when you're trying to like harvest yarn and then it's like, oh whoop, there's like a huge hole in this stitch. I guess I have to like, it just would really suck. So, but for me in this case, like once I ripped out a few stitches, I can clearly see, you know, the seam over here. So then in which case you can just slide your red ball under and just rip it. Okay, so this next part is like basically the hardest part of undoing a sweater, and that's to know like where exactly to start undoing. And for every sweater, it's honestly really different, so you're going to have to look around and see like where you think the beginning is, and then just like see if like you can unravel from that point. But in my experience with unraveling like a few sweaters, I've noticed that a lot of them are knit from the bottom up. So I first start looking for, you know, the beginnings of the yarn from the top. And I'm actually really lucky because the sweater is like very clear where the beginnings are, and that's these two little like things that are sticking out. So it'll kind of look like a braid, if you can see this thing right here. And what I do is I just like undo it. So I basically just like pull it out like so, if you can see. And after you unravel that braid, you can like use a scissor to like basically cut it if it's really difficult. But after you unravel that like braid looking thingy, you can really easily, hopefully, start, you know, undoing the sleeve like so. It gets like really easy to unravel like this. So you're just gonna be very therapeutically, this is like my favorite part, obviously, undoing the entire sleeve like so. So yeah, just gonna undo the entire sleeve right here, and then I'll show you all the other seams, so like the side seams and the shoulder seams, what that looks like. So at this point, I've taken away both of the sleeves, I've unraveled both of the sleeves, and what I'm basically gonna be doing next is I'm going to seam rip this collar area, the shoulder seams here, and then the side seams on both sides. So it's the same sort of process. You basically just identify where your stitches are that you need to seam rip. So as you can see here, I'm basically gonna go from here and then just seam rip with the, again, the red ball on the bottom, so I'm just gonna seam rip that. Okay, so I've unpicked and ripped out all the seams, and so basically I'm holding the back panel right here, and you can see there are like some braid looking thingies. So I'm just going to undo it, or like I said, you can just cut it off, because like these are actually kind of difficult to undo. So I personally just like cutting them off like this. And then you should be able to find sort of like the start of that row. Okay, after some difficulty, I finally like found the beginning. It takes a bit. Sometimes stuff is like tangled up. I had to like cut some things, but it's fine. And then you're just gonna, like I said, with the sleeves, unravel the rest of this panel. Okay, I accidentally cut that part. It's fine. I'm just gonna like magic knot it together later. But basically, you're just gonna unravel everything. Pretty self-explanatory. Very satisfying. But yeah, I'm just gonna unravel like so.